Thank you for watching the fourth episode of Tap In, which is a production of First Star Central Florida Academy, a national college and career preparation program for youth in foster care. This is the source for inspiration and tools that will help you jump off the sidelines and start creating the life you want for yourself. I am Dr. Deshawn Chapman, the director of First Star, and today I'm speaking with Mr. Jason Jones, a graphic designer and entrepreneur. Jason, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Dr. Deshawn.
So let's just start off with you sharing with our scholars who you are and what you do.
Yeah, well, my name is Jason Jones. I'm a graphic designer, as you said, owner of Studio Jones Design. I'm also an adjunct professor at Valencia College here in Orlando. And I've been doing graphic design professionally for over 20 years now, teaching for about 15 or 16. Actually got my start many moons ago at the New York Times. So newspapers was actually my first introduction to graphic design for the scholars out there. Newspapers they used to print ink on paper, and they handed it out to everybody. Is what that is. Uh, so I got my start there, and I did a lot of like informational graphics, page layout, illustrations for the newspaper. But that was like my first taste of what it was like to be a graphic designer in terms of, we're not just creating pretty pictures just to create pretty pictures. There's a meaning behind it, and there are objectives that we have to meet. There's left brain work, the analytical side, before you get to the right brain work, which is, the creative side. And so that's when I really learned what it was like to be a graphic designer. And I stayed in newspapers. I got an internship at the Orlando Sentinel here in Orlando, and doing much of the same type of thing: page layout, illustrations, graphics for the newspaper in editorial. And they ended up hiring me, which is a key takeaway, is to, make yourself so valuable that they either have to hire you or they're going to refer you to somebody else. So when you do your internship, go in there, you give it your all, you make yourself a part of the team, meaning that you don't just talk to the people in the art department or in your, whatever your field is, whatever department you're in, get out and network with some of the other people in the building. And networking is just about building relationships. So I'm not saying go out there and hand out a business card to everyone. Just build relationships and get to know people as people, while you're on this internship. Like I said, make yourself invaluable. So they ended up hiring me, and I worked in two different roles at the Sentinel, one in editorial, again, doing stuff for the newspaper. And then I shifted over to marketing, where it was more about promoting the newspaper and its business extensions. So, billboards, brochures, direct mail, ad campaigns. So all of that marketing, conversion type stuff is what I did in the marketing department. But then I kind of saw the writing on the wall as far as where newspapers were going to go. This is, early 2000s or so. So I'm like, let me start looking around here. And I wanted to kind of get into an ad agency. So I was applying for different ad agencies, and I came really close at this one ad agency. And it was down to me and another guy. And they gave me a test. They said, okay, we'll give you a test to just redesign this ad for one of our clients. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. I went back, took it back to the lab, designed it. I think I turned it in like the next day. Like, I did it so fast. And about a week later, I got the call, and they were like, sorry, we decided to go in a different direction. And I was like, man. So, I took the opportunity. I was like, well, was it something about me or my portfolio, or, what was it that kind of made me lose out on this?
Yeah.
And well, she was like, your ad was fine. You did great on that. But the other guy did an ad campaign. He wrote a radio spot. He did storyboards for a commercial. And I was like, oh, okay, he got me. He got me. So takeaway number two: don't let anybody out hustle you. They might be
Yes.
more talented than you, or if you're an athlete, maybe they run faster than you, or if you're a public speaker, maybe someone is a better orator than you, but don't let anybody outwork you. I learned that lesson really early. I would have been fine if, he just was better than me, but he just out hustled me. That was all to it. So don't let anybody out hustle you. So I did shift directions, and I started applying for magazines since it was in publishing, and Orlando Magazine had an art director position open. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go for that. And I got down again to the last final interview, and they're like, "We're going to give you a test." I was like, "Oh man, here we go again with this test." So they give me this test. They tell me to design a feature layout based off of something that they had already done. And I was like, okay, they're not going to get me this time. So I said, okay, they want me to do a feature layout. No, I redesigned the whole magazine. I just took like the weekend and I redesigned the whole magazine. I gave them font options, color options, photo styling, directions, a complete rebrand of the magazine. And so, I ended up getting the job because I remember that thing. I'm not going to if they get it, they get it, but they're not going to out hustle me. That's not going to be the reason why I didn't get it. So I stayed at Orlando Magazine for about 9 years, and I oversaw design and production, of the magazine during that period. And then I got the opportunity to work on Sunrail project. It was around 2012, and 9 years at a place is, it's kind of long. So in conjunction with another agency, I got a chance to work on Sunrail as a freelancer, like a contractor. But it was too much for me to juggle my full-time 9 to 5 and do that at the same time. So I ended up quitting my job and basically betting on myself because the contract was a 2-year contract, and I was like, okay, I got 2 years to make something happen. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to take a calculated risk. And as I said, calculated risk. I didn't just jump off I knew, okay, I got some money coming in. I got a chance to make something happen. If I can build up enough clientele over the next 2 years, then I can be able to, support myself and my family, and I'll just keep doing that. If not, maybe I just go back and get another job. That's all to it. So I quit my job and saw that as an opportunity to start my company, Studio Jones Design. And so I still had money coming in from Sunrail. And by the end of 2 years, I had hustled enough that I did have enough clients to be able to support myself. And so I've been doing that pretty much ever since, So I continued on with Studio Jones Design and teaching. But, the key takeaway there is sometimes you just have to bet on yourself. If you put in the work and you have honed your craft and you're studying and you're on your game, you can bet on yourself and take a calculated risk. You don't necessarily have to jump off the ledge, right away with nothing, without a parachute or anything. But look down there, assess the risks, and go ahead and go for it, and bet on yourself that you've done enough to be able to succeed. So
I feel like you've really shown us that today. It's just you've shown scholars how to show up, right? How to get in there with the internship, build relationships, make yourself valuable, that they want to, hire you or recommend you to somebody else, to not let anybody out hustle you, right? Like always go the extra mile. Think of something that you've never thought of before that nobody else is thinking about, and then take calculated risks. So build your brand while you're working for someone else. So if students want to get into, let's say, graphic design, how might they do that? What pathways are there today?
Oh, there are so many pathways. I got my degree from FAMU, but you don't have to go the college route. There are, tech schools out there. A lot of designers are still self-taught these days. There's so much training out there and certificates that you can get. So getting into the field, is pretty easy in terms of the different schools and stuff you can go to. Like I said, I'm at Valencia. We have a graphic design program there. I know UCF has some stuff, and just all over, in terms of learning design. But I would say that the three things that you would need is the technical skills. So that's the Adobe Creative Suite. That's, Photoshop for video editing, Illustrator for artwork, InDesign for magazines, Adobe Premiere for video production. So Adobe Creative Suite, learn the technical skills all over YouTube. You can learn these things on your own. I would say, practice being creative. And people sometimes like practice things like, what does that mean? I'm not creative. I don't know how to draw. Guess what? I've been a creative director forever, and I don't draw that well. It's not necessarily about painting or drawing. We're commercial artists. We sell products and services, through our designs. And you can become creative just by, go to Michael's or Barnes and Nobles and get you a little $5.99 sketch pad. Start writing down ideas. Start sketching out ideas. Take photos on your phone, print them out on your little inkjet, paste them in there, write captions, post stuff to your Instagram story when you're traveling with your parents and stuff like that. Like,
Mm.
just sit in the back and just be a bystander. Look around, see what's out there. Turn your antennas up and take pictures, post them to your Instagram story, write captions. Like, this is practicing, being creative is just,
Yeah.
visual journaling. You know what I
I
mean?
think
Just
social media is a great avenue for that right now.
absolutely. We didn't have that when I was
Yeah.
coming up. You can tell stories, you can do all these creative things, and it's just practicing doing it, just getting in the habit of doing it.
And it's building a portfolio. Should you choose to, make that public, you've got all of that stuff right there. So to wrap up, can you share a scripture or a quote or an affirmation that motivates you?
What motivates me is it's not actually by a fictional person, it's by the character Yoda from Star Wars. He always
Okay.
says, do or do not, there is no try.
Mm.
Yeah, he always says, do or do not, there is no try. And so when I catch myself sometimes like, well, I might try to do that tomorrow, or yeah, maybe I get, there's no commitment there. So what I like about that quote is like, you're either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. And once you start putting try in there, you start qualifying things, you start setting yourself up to not do it basically and make excuses for why you can't do it. So it's either you commit to it and do it or you don't.
I think that's the perfect quote for learning how to tap in. So that concludes our fourth episode, brought to you by First Star Central Florida Academy. Thank you, Mr. Jason Jones, for spending some time with us today. Those watching, remember to visit firststar.org to learn more about the program and get involved. Have a great day.
All right, thanks.